trường Đại học Bách khoa Hà Nội. Thầy tên là Phan Xuân Thành, đến từ Viện Toán ứng dụng và Tin học, và sẽ dạy chúng ta cái bài tập giải thích 1 với mã option là MI111E. Các em nhìn thấy file slide thầy chia sẻ trên này chưa? Cái file PDF.
Rồi ạ.
Thế thì cái mã option chúng ta là MI1111E. Thì hôm qua thầy đã chia sẻ cái chúng ta làm lớp bài tập, cho nên chúng ta sẽ làm bài tập và có cái tờ cương, cái phần về bài tập thì thầy đã gửi trên team của lớp, chúng ta có thể vào để chúng ta lấy đề về. Đồng thời thầy cũng gửi trên đấy cái quyển sách tham khảo, sách của James Stewart và cái đề cương của môn học MI11E ở trên cái nhóm học của chúng ta. Thì các em có thể vào lấy tham khảo và lấy thông tin về. Thì như thầy nói trên này có thông tin của Viện Toán ứng dụng và Tin học sami.hut.edu.vn. Các cái mã option MI của chúng ta là do Viện Toán ứng dụng và Tin học đảm nhận giảng dạy. Thì sau này các thông tin liên quan đến môn học có thể xem trên cái trang web của Viện Toán ứng dụng và Tin học, các em có thể xem ở trên này. Đấy. Cái trang web mà thầy đang nhìn thấy, các em đang nhìn thấy trên màn hình đấy. Đấy. Thế thì trước khi vào cụ thể cái phần bài tập của môn học thì chúng ta đây là phần đề cương môn học, thì cái này thì chắc là cũng đã các thầy cô cũng đã giới thiệu chúng ta trong cái buổi đầu tiên rồi, đúng không? Thì ở đây thầy có nói về cái môn học chúng ta sẽ có 30 tiết bài tập. 30 tiết bài tập. 30 tiết bài tập ở trên này. Chúng ta học 2 tiết một tuần vào thứ 5, tức là bắt đầu 2 tiết đầu, chúng ta bắt đầu từ 12:30 cho đến 2 giờ chúng ta kết thúc cái phần này, 30 tiết vào thứ 5, được chưa? 2 tiết bài tập một tuần. Thì nội dung học chúng ta sẽ dựa trên những bài tập, làm một số bài tập liên quan đến cụ thể cái nội dung học ở đây. Thực ra trong này thì toàn bộ bằng tiếng Việt, chúng ta có thể tham khảo cuốn sách tiếng Anh mà thầy gửi lúc nãy. Thì thầy Hoàng dạy chúng ta phần lý thuyết vào hôm chiều thứ hai. Hôm chiều thứ hai các em học lý thuyết rồi. Được chưa? Thì nội dung học thì cơ bản là theo cái đề cương này. Thì các em nhìn thấy trên này cái đề cương của cái tuần đầu tiên chúng ta học về cái giới thiệu về hàm số và giới thiệu về các cái khái niệm liên quan đến hàm số sơ cấp, về dãy số. Ok. Thì có bạn nào có trao đổi gì về đề cương môn học cũng như là về cái phần này không ạ? Thì trong cái giờ bài tập chúng ta, thầy sẽ cho chúng ta làm một số bài tập cụ thể. Trong này chúng ta có thể tham khảo cái đề cương bài tập của Viện Toán ứng dụng và Tin học, bài mã phần là MI1111, chúng ta có thể xem trong này, thầy gửi chúng ta xem cái file đề cương bài tập này luôn. Thì trong này có cái phần bài tập của cái đề cương mã phần tiếng Việt. Các em nhìn thấy trên này, đây là phần MI111 của tiếng Việt. Cái của em là chúng ta hoàn toàn dịch tiếng Anh thôi, cái phần này. Thì trong này có cái phần bài tập tương ứng, các em có thể tham khảo trong này. Đây ạ. Thì thầy chuẩn bị với nó cái bài tập tương ứng bên này. Đây là phần bài tập mà thầy chuẩn bị chúng ta làm ở trong này. Cũng tương tự như cái bài tập mà chúng ta viết trong này thôi. Thì trong quá trình làm bài tập thì khi mà làm chúng ta học online, cho nên là chúng ta trao đổi một chút bằng tiếng Việt trước khi chúng ta chuyển sang cái phần tiếng Anh chúng ta học. Thì chúng ta trong cái đề cương môn học chúng ta có cái phần là điểm quá trình. Chúng ta nhìn vào đây cái điểm quá trình chúng ta, cái điểm quá trình chúng ta và điểm chiếm tổng số 30% đấy, cái điểm này. Thì cái điểm này nó gồm có cả cái điểm chúng ta tham gia đóng góp bài trong cái giờ bài tập. Thì trong cái giờ bài tập chúng ta có thể thầy điểm danh và chúng ta cộng thêm cộng trừ cái điểm chuyên cần. Thì tối đa các em có thể cộng được 2 điểm trong cái giờ này, cộng hoặc trừ 2. Nếu chúng ta tham gia đầy đủ các buổi học các em sẽ cộng điểm, và đồng thời chúng ta tham gia đóng góp bài các em được cộng điểm. Thì cái cộng điểm của chúng ta, cách làm bài chúng ta như sau, chúng ta cộng 2 hoặc trừ 2 trong cái giờ bài tập này. Thì cách làm chúng ta như sau, có lẽ là chúng ta sẽ làm bằng cách là vì online cho nên các em sẽ làm bài tập ra giấy, sau đó các em chụp ảnh lại và có thể gửi qua cái team của chúng ta để thầy kiểm check lại bài xem bài đấy đúng hay sai. Và hoặc là chúng ta có thể tức là để thầy ghi nhận những cái bạn mà tham gia đóng góp bài. Đấy là cái cách mà chúng ta sẽ làm như thế. Sau đấy cuối kỳ thầy tổng hợp lại để chúng ta có thể cộng điểm cho chúng ta nếu mà bạn nào tham gia nhiều. Ok. Và đây chính là cái tờ bài tập mà chúng ta sẽ làm theo. Hôm qua thầy gửi chúng ta cái tờ bài tập này rồi. Chúng ta làm bài tập trong số này. Thì đấy là cái nội dung mà chúng ta sẽ học. Thế có lẽ chúng ta bắt đầu vào bài học. Có ai có câu hỏi gì không?
Thế có thể là thầy gửi bài tập vào chỗ nào đấy ạ?
Trên cái team em.
Ở phần channel ấy ạ?
Phần file các cái thông tin về chúng ta đến bài học.
Vâng, em thấy rồi, em cảm ơn ạ.
Đợi thêm một tí thì đánh cái này xong chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu làm bài. Như vậy có 112 người, tổng 120 chúng ta có thể bắt đầu được rồi. Ok.
Thầy có record lại bài không ạ?
Ok, mình có thể record lại bài.
Cảm ơn ạ.
Accept và đợi một tí mà một số bạn không vào được, thầy accept và một số bạn vào này nhé. Các em vào bằng code không được, tại sao lại vào, đừng vào bằng link. Thật ra link thì nó hỏi cho cả cái chấp nhận của thầy. Okay, let's start. In the first week in the theory lecture, we have studied already this content. We have studied about the function, the definition of the function, and other definition related to function. And now we do some exercise. Here's the exercise sheet for the first week. Okay, let's do the exercise number 1. In the exercise number 1, we have to find the domain of the function, of the given function. For the exercise number 1, let's do the exercise number 1. We have to find the domain of the function, determine the domain of the function. Okay, let me give the solution of exercise number 1. Okay, let me take a copy of the exercise to the Word file. Okay, this is exercise number 1. We have to find the domain. We have to determine the domain of the function. So what is the domain of the function? What is the domain of the function? So if you have the function f, so what is the domain of the function? If you have the function f, so from the set D to the set Y. So the domain of the function that means all possible value of the input. So we have input and output. So okay, the set the value of the inputs because the domain of the function. Okay, and the domain of the function is denoted by D. For example, the function f we denote by df. Okay, so how can we find the domain of the function? So we need some condition for the, for example, fraction. We need to the condition that the denominator has to be non-zero. For example, we have the function like a over b. So we need b have to be not zero. Okay. Sorry. Okay, moment please. Okay, or we can have here the root, the square root, for example, square root of a. So we need condition a have to be non-negative, and b here is the denominator b is not zero. So based on this condition, we can find the domain of the function. Okay, let me do the first exercise, exercise number 1. 1a. So how can we find the domain of the function? The function f is given by the formula x divided by square root of 4x squared minus 1. So which condition we have here? So we need that 4x squared minus 1 have to be positive number. It's positive, it's greater than 0. So we can solve the inequality to find x have to be greater than 1/2. or x is less than minus 1/2. So we can find the domain of the function. Domain of the function is. So we can take here the x from the minus infinity to minus 1/2. So without the boundary, without the minus 1/2. Or we can take the onion with the from 1/2 to the infinity. Okay, this is the domain of the function. If you represent in the number line, because it is number line, the real line x here, and here's the origin, the number 0, and here where's minus 1/2. 1/2. So the domain of the function is from 1/2 to infinity or on the left hand side. That means we remove the part of the real line. Okay, so this is the domain of the function. This is A. So what about B? Okay, let's do by ourselves. B. What about B? And you have the solution. Take a picture of the solution and can send me by via text via chat box. Okay, now let's do the exercise B. 1B. We have to find the domain of the arcsine function, arcsine of 2x divided by x plus 1. So who can do the exercise number 1B? Okay, I think it's better for you to write out the solution and then you take a picture, okay, and send the picture to me. Of course, you can raise your hand, okay, raise your hand and then to discuss with me. Okay, I think it's better to write down the solution on the piece of paper and then take a picture and send it to me by via chat box. Okay. So here I received the solution by Phạm Quang. Okay, Nguyễn Hà Phương, you should give some more detail about the result. Okay, it's not the final one. Okay, you should write down the detail, the solution. Okay, for 1. Okay, let me check the solution by Phạm Quang Trung. Okay, Phạm Quang Trung. Lê Đức Dũng. Okay. Okay, let me take this one. And I use to check some of the solution only. Nguyễn Quang Trung. Okay, I will share this Nguyễn Quang Trung. Phạm Quang Trung, sorry. Phạm Quang Tùng, Phạm Quang Tùng. Do you see the solution by Phạm Quang Tùng? Phạm Quang Tùng. Các bạn có nhìn thấy bài giải không? Okay. Okay, this is solution by Phạm Quang Tùng. We have to find the domain of the function y equal arcsine 2x divided by x plus 1. So in this condition that 2x plus divided by x plus 1 have to be between minus 1 and 1. Okay, let me check. Okay, I think it should give more detail why we have x belong to the interval from minus infinity to minus 1. We have to solve the first inequality and the second inequality. Of course, the final result is okay. X has to be between the minus 1/3 and 1. Okay, that's correct. So next one, Lê Đức Dũng. Okay, here's a solution by Lê Đức Dũng. Okay, let me check Phạm Quang Tùng. Phạm Quang Tùng. Moment, please. So number 1, Phạm Quang Tùng. Okay, the second solution by Lê Đức Dũng. It's not correct, Dũng. Do you hear me, Dũng? Okay, if you multiply both sides with the factor, you have to be careful with the sign of the number. You multiply both sides with x plus 1. So you have to be careful with the sign of x plus 1. This is only true for x plus 1 is positive number. Otherwise, the inequality will be reversed. It means, for example, 1 is less than 2, but you multiply both sides with a number, for example, minus 1. So on the left hand side we have minus 1, on the right hand side we have minus 2, and now minus 1 greater than minus 2, not less than minus 2. So we have to be careful when you multiply both sides of the inequality with a number. So it depends on the sign of the number. So it is not correct. Okay. Now, sorry. Let me check. Now, sorry, Dương Minh Quân. Okay, Dương Minh Quân. Okay, let's check this solution. I think you should give more detail why we have x belong to this interval. Okay. So finally we have the from minus 1/3 and 1. Phạm Dương Minh Quân. Okay, let me take one more. Dương Minh Quân. Trần Đức Tuấn Kiệt. Kiệt. Okay, I think you should rotate the picture. Okay, it's to make to see this exercise. Okay, let me change this one. Okay, that's correct. Trần Đức Tuấn Kiên à? Trần Đức Tuấn Kiên. I think that's enough for the exercise 1B. Trần Đức Tuấn Kiên. Okay, I take one more solution only. So the domain of the function is x greater than or equal minus 1/3 and x less than. I think it's not correct. It can be take number 1. Okay, let me check. Nguyễn Đại Minh, we have if it's wrong the result here. It should x can be take number 1. For x equal 1 here we have 2x divided by 1. It should be here. It's not also 1 is included in the domain of the function. Okay, this is not correct. Okay, I think that's enough for the first exercise. So exercise number 1A. Okay, about 4 or 5 solution, I think that's enough for this exercise. So exercise number 1 here by the Tạ Quang Duy. Sorry, not Nguyễn Hoàng Anh. Sorry, Nguyễn Hoàng Anh. Okay, that's correct. Nguyễn Hoàng Anh. I think that's enough for the exercise number 1. Okay, there are a lot of solutions. Okay. Okay, let me come back to the exercise sheet. Okay, here I take note the name of the student who gives the correct solution for the exercise. So the domain of for B we have now x have to be minus 1/3. Sorry, 1/3, not 1/2. Less than or equal x and less than or equal number 1. This B. And I can give so you also for C. So for C we have now x have to be what do you think about? So x have to be 1 less than x less than 1. The open interval. Okay, the open interval. It's not takes a boundary. Okay, it's not include 1 and 1. This is for C. And the last one for D. So for D we need condition that arctangent of x have to be positive or greater than 0. So it means that x have to be non-negative, or it means that the domain of the function just equal from 0 to infinity. Okay, this is for D. Okay, this is the first exercise number 1. I think that's enough for the first exercise. To find the domain of the function. So domain of the function, that means the set of all the possible value for the inputs, okay? That means the value of x. So now we have to find, to come to the next exercise, to find the range of the function. That means all possible value of the function,
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
What is the difference between codomain and range?
The same meaning. Codomain and the means the codomain and the range or the codomain have the same.
But I've read some documents and they say that the codomain is the possible values and the range is the actual results.
No, I think the same. This is the same domain, as the same meaning. Codomain and the range is the same. Or sometimes we call the image. Okay, so range or image or outputs or outgoings. The same meaning.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now let's come back to the exercise sheets. Okay, we have done already the exercise number 1. Okay, let's come to the exercise number 2. We have to find the range of the function. You should remember the range of the function arctangent, cosine, sine, arccosine, okay, and the function logarithm of the x, and then we can find the range of this function. That means all possible value of the first function. Okay, we can do here. Okay, so let me give the solution. Maybe I can write here. Okay, for example, what about 2a? We can do we give the solution here already. So what do you know about the range of the cosine? So you know the cosine function all the way between 1 and -1. This is for OX, okay? We have 4. So it means that we can get from this, you can take we take 1 minus 2 cosine x is less than or equal number 3, and here we multiply both sides with factor 2 minus 2, so we get it's greater than -2 and less than 2, and this is greater than also. Okay, let me check for -1. So the domain of the logarithm function needs the factor inside bracket here had to be positive. So then we have now 0 have to be less than 1 minus 2 cosine x less than equal 3. Since the factor inside bracket have to be positive. So what that mean? What we can obtain about y? So the y equal logarithm of 1 minus 2 cosine. It should be the logarithm function is an increasing function, okay? And its maximum value attained when with the maximum value of the factor 1 minus cosine. That means logarithm of 3. So what happens if when 1 minus 2 cosine come to the 0? That means close to 0. So the logarithm of the x have to come to the. What about logarithm of the x as x is smaller and smaller, it comes to 0 from the right greater than 0.
Well, it will get closer and closer to the negative infinity.
Okay, it's approach to infinity, so we can try here infinity. It means that the range of the function is, so we can take here, okay, let me write here, from the infinity to logarithm of 3. Okay, so this is for A. This is for the exercise 2A.
Teacher,
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think we.
Why?
Teacher, I think we can give more information that this function is continuous function.
Yeah, of course, but up to now we
so,
don't know about the continuous function.
Okay, thank you.
Do you understand what I mean? Because at the first week we had know only about the definition of the function only. You don't know about the continuous function. I think you can write. You can say about this function is the function is can vary from infinity. Can be vary from infinity to the logarithm of 3 as x vary from sorry, not x what I mean, how can I say, not x1 minus 2 cosine x vary from 0 to 3. I think it gives more information about the range of the f. Okay, the function, okay, the value of the function vary from the minus infinity to 0 to 3 as x vary or take the value from 0 to 3. Okay. In fact, all functions here are continuous on the domain, on its domain. So we can find the range as a range of the function. Or we can take the if you plot the function. I will show you now the how to plot a function. Okay, moment please. Sorry. Okay, I will show you. We have the website where we can plot any function. This one. Moment, please. Okay. Okay, this is a website where we can plot any function. Okay, this function is logarithm of 1 minus 2 cosine x. Okay, so we have this the graph of the function. See the graph of the function 1 minus 2 cosine x. Okay, so maximum value here attain about 1.099. It's about the logarithm of 3, and then this can come to the infinity, minus infinity. This is a function, the graph of the function, the logarithm of 1 minus 2 cosine. You should remember this website to plot any function. Okay, and let me take a copy of the link to Sasbox.
Teacher?
Yeah.
How can we pronounce the logarithms of numbers or different numbers? Like, yeah, how can we pronounce it?
What do you mean?
Like, the symbol of ln. How can we pronounce the symbol of ln?
With the bay, we can take with the bay, logarithm of a because the bay of the. Oh, I will show you now the series. For example, the logarithm function. Where is it? We can say the logarithm function with the base a. Okay, we can try this with the base a. Or the with n equal a equal e, we can say it's natural logarithm. Yeah.
Yeah. How about a is equal to 10?
Okay, let me check. Okay. Okay, let me check later. I will show you later. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we can take to the base 10. Okay, here to the base 10. Okay. I think it's okay. Let me remove everything here. Sorry. Okay, so we can do similar for the B and D. So for example, for B, 2B. So we know that e to power x all the way positive. This is an exponential function all the way positive, and it can be vary from 0 to the infinity. It take all value from 0 to the infinity except 0. Okay, except 0. So it means that the range of the function arctangent e to power x had to be also greater than 0 and less than which number?
Pi over 2.
Pi over 2. Okay. It means that the range of this function equals we can take the open interval from 0 to pi over 2. This is for B. Okay, the range of the B. So who can tell me the range of C? Who can tell me? What about the range of the function arc cosine?
Square root of pi on 2 to the square root of pi.
No.
Is 0 to the square root of pi.
Okay, 0 to square root of pi. So I will show you now here's the range of the function arc cosine. Okay, let's see. See this cosine. You see on the left hand side the graph of the arc cosine function. And arc cosine all the way between 0 and pi. Okay, this one. All the way between. If you take the square root both sides, so it's less than or equal square root of pi, and the lower bounded by the number 0. Okay, so it means the domain D of the function square root of arc cosine is from 0 to pi. So you come back here. Okay, so it's from 0 to square root of pi. Okay, what about the last one? Okay, for the last one, let me remove this number. Only x plus 1. So let's do the exercise, the last 1D. Okay, and then let me take a picture of this one to the last one. To come to the, how can you find the domain, sorry, the range of the following function? So who can find the range of the function y equal, okay, moment please. Okay, let me change a little bit from the exercise sheet. Okay, not square, only x only. So this exercise. So how can you find the range of this function? So now we have the following. We have here, if we multiply here, we have the y x square, okay, plus y equal x minus 1. Okay, that's okay. So now it means that
You forgot the x squared minus 1. It's x squared minus 1 multiplied to divide to x squared plus 1.
Yeah. I mean, now
Yeah.
we find the range of this function. Not x square on the numerator, x only. From the exercise sheet here, we have x square, but now let's stay with this exercise, not x square. Okay, so from the equation we can find this is 1D, as I know, I remember. Okay, sorry, 2D. So now we have this. So if you rearrange, we can get here is minus x plus here y plus 1 equals 0. This is quadratic function. This is quadratic function. The quadratic function. Okay, let me check y x square y. Okay, let me check y. Okay, that's correct. This is quadratic function. So with condition to guarantee the quadratic function has a solution. So real solution.
Delta
The delta is
must be greater or equal to 0.
Discriminant. Okay, so we call discriminant. Okay, so it's b square minus 4ac. B square minus 4ac. Had to be positive. Okay, so it's equal 1 square minus 1 minus 4ac for y. So in fact, if y equals 0, it's possible for y equals 0. Okay, so if y equals 0, then we can find x equal 1. Okay, we can take equal 1. So it's possible for y equals 0. Okay, so if y is not 0, for y is not 0. So this is exactly the quadratic equation. So we can find the determinant. So it's y plus 1. So it have to be positive. Sorry, not greater than 0 only, not positive. How can you find y? We have to solve the form. Okay, let me check it's correct. 4ac. Y x square. Okay, let me check y x 1 x square 4ac. Okay, so how can you find the how can you solve the inequality? We have the following. We have here, so we can write at here. Okay, let me check here. Is that y2 greater than minus 2y plus 1 square? 0. We have now the solution now. Okay, let me check here. Is that square root of 2? Minus 1 2y, okay? Minus square root of 2. For the range of the function, function. We can find the range of the function now is from the -1/2. It can take a copy of this one. It should be less than or equal y and less than or equal 1/2. Okay, this is the range of the function. Of course, the value y equals 0 also inside this interval. Okay, so this is the range of the function. So this is exercise 2. Okay, let's come to the next exercise, exercise number 4. Okay, maybe let me skip exercise number 3 and 4. Okay, maybe exercise number 4. Now let's do the exercise number 4. So here its range is Bình Sang. Okay, so Lê Quang Hiếu is also the correct solution. And Dương Hồng Nam. Okay, Tạ Ngọc Minh have correct solution for exercise number 1D. But I think up to now we don't know about the derivative of the function. I think it's not appropriate now. Okay, I will show you some solution by some student. You can check here some solution. Okay, for exercise number 2D. 2D here. Okay, for 1. So it's less than 2. Okay, from 1 to 1 is okay. So for B, okay, this from 1 to 1. So the next one, Quang Hiếu, okay, that's correct. Bình Sang plots the graph of the function. Okay, where I check the derivative, I think it's not appropriate up at the moment. Okay, up so now we don't know about the derivative of the function. I think it's not appropriate as a solution for the exercise. We don't know about the derivative of the function, so I think it's not suitable up to now for the 2D. Okay. Now let's do the exercise number 4. Exercise number 4. Okay, let me choose one of the students who can do the exercise number 4. Nguyễn Thế An have sent me to. So okay, let me take the exercise number 4. Y equal 1 minus x. Let me check. Y equal 1 minus x. And the area. What is area? Area now is so area is x multiplied by 2, x minus 1. Okay, let me do this exercise. Huỳnh Thế An gives I think the correct solution. Okay, so x here. So the second component of the p here. So the equation of the line AB is, you can find the equation of line AB, x plus y equal number 1. Okay, so it means that y equal x 1 minus x. This is the second component of the point B. So P with coordinate x and 1 minus x. Okay, so for B, so we have the areas of the rectangle is, we take the height is x and the length the other side is 2 multiply 1 minus x. That means now x, or we can write 2x 1 minus x. Okay, and we need the condition for this function. X has to be at least greater than 1 and less than number 1. This is 1B. Okay, let me check some more solution. Nguyễn Thế An gives the correct solution. Nguyễn Thế An. Okay, Nguyễn Thế An. Number 6, Nguyễn Thế An. Trần Lê Mỹ Linh. Lê Mỹ Linh. Okay, let me take some more. Phạm Trung Hiếu. Also, Phạm Trung Hiếu. And the last one. Okay, I think that's enough for this exercise. Nguyễn Đăng Dương. Exercise number 4. Sorry. Okay, let me change a little bit. Let's do the following exercise. Not exercise in the exercise sheet. We do the following exercise. Let's do the following exercise, not in the exercise sheet. Okay, let's do the exercise number 2. In a certain country, income tax is assessed as follows. There's no tax on income up to 10,000 US dollar. This is per year, not per month. Okay, it's per year. Any income over 10,000 is taxed at the rate of 10%. Up to an income of 20,000. Any income over 20,000 is taxed at the rate 15%. Okay, I think not scared. We can find the function only. Okay, let's skip this one. Okay, what is the function R? Depend on the income I, okay? So who knows the solution? You can raise your hand, okay, and then tell to me. Who can do this exercise? Okay, please raise your hand. Nguyễn Hữu Nam. Nguyễn Hữu Nam, please.
R is equal to 0 if I is less than 10,000.
Less than 10. Means this one.
Yep, 10,000. And R is equal to 10% if I is less than if 10,000.
0.1, okay, 0.1. If
10,000 is less than I, and I is less than 20,000, and R equal to 0.15 if I is larger than
1.5.
20,000.
The income is greater than
20,000.
So what about when I equal 10,000?
The R is also equal to 0. I think that.
So what about when I equal 10,000?
So R is also equal to 0.
0 or 0.1?
0.
0. Okay, this is 0. So you should flip the equal here, and also equal here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nguyễn Hữu Nam không nhỉ? Nguyễn Hữu Nam. Okay. Okay. Moment is 9. Nguyễn Hữu Nam. So what about B? B. This is A. What about B? So how much type is assessed on an income of 14,000? So this is per year, okay? Per year. About more than 1,000 per month. So how much money you have to pay to the government if your income is 14,000? Okay, who can do this exercise? Okay, let me check. Okay, a lot of students know the solution. Okay, let me choose one student randomly. Moment, please. Phan Công Anh. The same family name with me. Phan Công Anh, you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So what is the solution for the B?
B is for $14,000 is 1,400.
It means the money, the tax for you have to pay T equal.
T is equal to RI minus RI multiplied to the.
No, I mean the final result. Give me the final number.
Oh, it's 1,400.
For 1,400. You mean 1,400 US dollars?
Yes.
It's number. So what about if the salary is 26,000?
It's 3,900.
Let me take the first one, T1 and T2, for example. Dương Minh Quân, do you agree with this number?
Yes.
Dương Minh Quân. Is that correct or not? So what is
my answer?
My answer is the same with Phan Công Anh.
Okay.
Sorry,
Như
my
Minh
name
Hà.
is.
Okay, Như Minh Hà or Như Minh Hà. Please. Như Minh Hà. You hear me? Okay, what is your solution?
Well, my solution is if the income of $14,000, I think the tax will be $400.
Okay, another number is only. So why do you know this number, not 1,400?
Well, it said that any income above 10,000, not. So I think it will only count from the 10,000 and above, but not the 1,000 first. So I only
10,000. Okay.
So I only think about the 4,000, but not the 14,000.
Okay, I understand what you mean. It means that we divide the total income. Okay, so that means 14,000 into part. Okay, it's 10,000 and 4,000. Okay. So this is you see this number is no tax for the first 10,000. No tax. Okay, you see there's no tax if income. There's no tax if income up to 10,000. So any income over 10,000 is tax at rate 10%. That means multiply by 0% for the first part of the and here we have the assets only for this number. This is 10%. You multiply with 10% here. So we get the only $400 US, not 1,400. You are correct. So what about I mean, how much money if you have to pay for tax if the income is 26,000? Nhữ. Okay, I'm sorry. What is your name? Nhữ Minh Hà. Nhữ Minh Hà. Okay. So what about when the income
will be $1,900.
Okay, so two is okay. That's correct.
Teacher.
What?
Teacher.
Yeah. This is the number for the correct answer. 400 and 1,900 is correct.
Teacher.
Yeah.
I think
you agree.
I don't agree with this answer.
Okay. Nhữ Minh Hà. Okay, let me take this one.
Teacher.
Yeah.
I don't agree with this answer.
Okay. Okay, this by the rule, not. I mean, I will show you now. This by the rule. When you take the.
If her answer for B is right, the answer for A must be different.
No, it's only 400 for the A.
You can let's check again the formula for the function.
Yeah.
Check the formula for the function. Here y I is 14,000, right?
Yeah.
I is 14,000, and it is between 10,000 and 20,000. So
that's right.
So the rate R, according
10%.
to the formula, it must be 10% of 14,000, and it must be
the 10% of the money greater than 10,000, not the whole money.
No, you have to follow the formula of the function. You have given.
I know. Yeah, of course, I have to follow. Yes, the rule. Yeah, but the 10% of the money over 10,000, not the whole money. You understand the rule to find the factors.
So it's a matter of like procedure. You apply the 0 tax rate for the first 10,000, then the 10% for the $4,000 that exceeds the $10,000 mark? Yes or?
Okay, let's read the question carefully. You said to let me come back to the question. Okay, moment please. Okay, I will take. I'm sorry. You have to be careful. You have to read the question carefully. Okay, I will show it now. Okay, you see the no tax. Okay, no tax. Yes, so no tax for any income up to 10,000. Any income over, okay, over 10,000 is taxed at the rate 10%, and up to 20,000. It means we have 14,000. You can divide two parts. This is 10,000, and here we have 4,000. This is the income over 10,000. Okay, so 10% of this number, not the first number, and this is no tax. Okay, this is no tax. You get the point. You get the point. So the total tax for if the salary is 14,000 only, we take the 10% of this number. That means 400 only, not 1,400. This is a rule how to find the tax. It's not means the 10% of 14,000. 10% of the the income over 10,000 only, not the whole money. So here's the function t. Okay, for c, we have the function t depend on the I. So you can see here is no tax if I is less than 10,000. Okay, so for 10I from if I from 10,000. Okay, moment please. 10,000. Okay, less than I, less than or equal 20,000. So you have now. So I mean, so over 10,000. That means we take the difference between I and 10,000. So 10% of this number multiplied by 0.1. Not the whole number. It's only over 10,000. We take the difference between I and 1,000. So what happens if I greater than 20,000? So we divide three parts. The first part, I mean the 10,000 first, no tax. So the next 10,000 we need to have to pay the 10%. That means here, sorry. So it means on next one you have here 10% of the 10,000 we have 1,000 plus here the tax for the income over 20,000. It means we take the difference between I and 20,000 and then multiply by 0.15. This is the formula for the function t. Do you understand the formula for t? This is a rule by the rule. Okay.
Teacher, I have an opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think the answer for question A is right.
The rate is the same. The rate not the I mean this is the rate, not the tax.
Yes, the rate.
Yeah.
I think it is right.
It is less than or equal and 1.5 if I greater than 20,000. Sorry, not equal. Greater than 20,000. You mean the first the part A is not correct? I mean this correct answer, I think. This rate, not the tax. R equals 0 if I, due to the rule here. So there is no tax if the income is up to, and here's for the rate is 10%. If the I greater than 10 and less than 20. Okay, this is solution for the exercise 2. Okay, let me come back to the exercise sheet here. So this function we call the piecewise defined function. That means the function has a different formula on the different part of the domain. Okay, so let me give the final result here. Okay, so the text here the t here depend on I. 0 if I okay.
Can you
You
check the message? Check the message. I have sent my answer.
Okay, okay. So the name is Nguyễn Thành An.
That's right.
Okay, then.
Nguyễn Thành An.
Okay. Now it's the red, not the text. This is the text. You have to distinguish between the red. The red is 10% and 50% and or 0%. It's not mean the tax. I mean the money you have to pay.
I think
it is a formula for the last part. I mean the C. You have to distinguish between the red and the tax.
Oh,
okay.
I see.
I think the rate
you understand what I mean?
Equal to the tax over income, not like that.
So this is a rate. This is a tax. You have to distinguish between the rate. Okay, moment please. The rates. And the T is a tax. I mean this is money. The how much money, and here's the ratio or the rate only. You understand what I mean? The rate now is 0% if the income is less than or equal 10,000.
Yes.
And 10%. Yes. Okay, not the type. Okay, this the answer is for C, not for A. A is the rate only, and it's formula for T, not for the rate R. Okay. Okay, let me continue with exercise number 5. Okay, let's do the exercise number 5, and then I will choose a arbitrary student and give me the solution for exercise number 5. It's not difficult, okay? Okay, what is odd or even function? Let me give you the definition of the odd and the even function. This is definition of the This is a definition of the even or odd function. The even function and the even function and the odd function. Even function just means we have to satisfy this identity fx minus x equal fx and the odd function. So what about A? This is a size hyperbolic function. Okay, let me choose one student to give the solution for exercise. Hồ Tùng Khánh. Can you tell me what about A? Hồ Tùng Khánh, please. Hồ Tùng Khánh, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so what about A? Determine whether f is even or neither.
Wait, still on.
Pardon? You can speak louder. Please speak louder.
Can you give me a few seconds?
I see you raise your hand.
No, it's from the previous exercise.
Okay, okay. Dương Anh Nhật.
Yes.
You have solution for exercise, okay? So what about A?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What about A?
Yes, then A is an odd function.
So why do you know this odd function?
Because just basically when I replace the x by minus x, then the whole function will become like the e to the minus of x minus the e to the x. So it's just the minus of fx, of the original fx.
Okay, this is odd function. What about B?
B is neither odd or even.
So how you know this?
Yes, then I use the same method. I just replace x with minus x, and it just has no connection.
Okay, maybe we can take here, for example, f at for example 1. Okay, let me take 1 equal 1/3 and minus 1. Oh, okay. Minus 1, you have to check. Minus 1. Okay, you have to find this number, and then it's maybe f of minus 1. It's not the same f1. And also f minus 1. Also, it's not minus f1. It means that the function is neither even nor odd function. Okay. So what about C? So what about C? What do you think about C?
I think, well, C is neither. It's neither an add or odd function.
I don't think so. Okay, you have here you have to be this identity x squared plus 1 plus x. If you multiply by with the conjugate part x squared.
I think C is odd function.
Yeah, odd function. It's equal number 1.
Yes.
Number 1. So if two numbers multiply equals to number 1. So let's say if AB equal number 1. So the logarithm of A, it should be equal minus logarithm of B. Okay, so what we can say about the domain of the function phi c? What you can say about the domain of this function? The domain of the function. Is it the whole real number? The whole real line? How can you say about the domain of the function?
I think it's a whole real number.
Why?
Because
you know, from 0 to positive infinity, it's easy to see that the logarithm by n.
Give me the reason why.
Oh,
it's not difficult, I know, but how can you solve the I mean the factor inside bracket is always positive number.
In my opinion, I think that under the square there's x power up to 2 and plus 1. So we can see that the only x power up to 2 square of it can be bigger in any way is bigger or equal to the x. So with a -1, it will probably a positive.
It's still not clear. Okay, so you can see here the factor inside bracket x squared plus 1. That is. You see, it's always square root of
Greater
x.
than 0. Yeah.
And square root of x squared, you have it is an absolute value. Okay, absolute value of x and plus x. And by definition, it's always for x is positive is equal to x and then also greater than 0. And for x is negative, it equals 0. So it's always greater than 0. It means that this factor here always positive number. That means the function is defined for all x. Is defined for all x belong to R. Okay, so it means that the domain of the function is all real number, and this is odd function. Okay, I'm sorry because I have to. So what about D?
It's an odd.
Okay, it's odd function.
It is neither.
No, for
I think it's an odd function.
Odd function. What? This is a odd function. This is even. So what about the sum?
Neither.
Okay.
I think it's odd.
You mean the last one? No, it's the last one is neither even nor odd function. Okay, so the next exercise, I will do this exercise for it is a composite function. The composition function. So by definition, f compose with the function z. So by definition, it's equal f of z of h. It is a composition function. So we can find, for example, for a. So we can find, for example, f compose with the h of x equal, we can write f of by definition. So what about this? So f of x minus 1. And we can substitute now f of x minus 1 equal 1 over x. Okay. So what about f z compose with f? What do you think? Z equal z of f equal 1 over x plus 1. And now that's equal 1 over x plus 1 minus 1. Okay. This for a. So what about f compose with f? F compose with equal f of fx of 1 over x plus 1. that equal 1 over 1 x plus 1 plus 1. Or we can write here at x plus 1 divided by x plus 2. And the last one. Equal x minus 2 is a alpha. I think for this exercise number 6, we can do similar for B, C, and D. Do you have any question or remark? Or comments? Do you have any question or remark or comments?
Yes.
Okay, what is your question?
My question is, the domain of FOG is only excluded 0 or are excluded 0 and negative 1.
Okay, so about the domain of the function. Okay, I will show you the domain of the composition function. Okay, this is domain of the composition function. You have to be careful with the domain. This is the domain of the composition function. You see, the domain of the composition F compose with Z. Consider of the OX in the domain of Z, for which the Z lie is the domain of F. That means for OX belong to the domain of, sorry, it should be belong to the domain of the function D. Such that or for which Z of H had to be belong to the domain of F. The domain of F. So it means that's the domain of the function. Okay, the domain of the function F, this one. So it have to be inside the domain of the function Z. Okay, the D Z is a whole number, or whole real number. Okay, so what about the F? So X is not minus 1. Okay, so it means that X minus 1 have to be minus 1. So it means X is not 0. This is the domain of the composition function F. This domain of this function. So what about, okay, be careful with the domain of this function. Let's take here. So if you see from the last formula here, you see that we need only condition that X is not minus 2. But by definition, okay, so the domain of this function X have to be belong to the domain of F. It means that X have to be not number 1, minus 1. So here we need also X have to be not minus 1 for the compose F compose with F. For which the F of X have to be in the domain of the function F. That means here it should be also not minus 1. So X is not minus 2. So I mean the domain of the F compose with F is domain of F. This one. You satisfied with with my answer?
Yes.
Okay. So that means the domain of this function have to be x also not number -2 and also x not -1. You have to be careful, okay? So I think it's not enough time to do the last exercise number 7. Okay, we will do the next time. Do you have any question or comment or remark? Any question? Các bạn có hỏi cô có thắc mắc gì nữa không? Các bạn có hỏi có thắc mắc gì nữa không? Okay, I think now that's all for today's.
Bài tập về nhà làm thôi.
Chúng ta làm tiếp bài tập trong này thì có lẽ là chúng ta bởi vì là học online nó hơi khó khi mà tôi gọi một số bạn thì có rất nhiều bạn xung phong làm này thì tôi không thể check hết được. Chắc có thể check khoảng tầm 4 hoặc 5 bạn thôi. Thì đây là những bạn mà hôm nay tôi check, chắc chắn nó sẽ không được công bằng với tất cả mọi người, bởi vì là chúng ta học online, các bạn gửi một lúc đến rất nhiều bài giải thì thầy không thể check hết toàn bộ được. Vì vậy là chỉ check được một số người, cũng như thế chúng ta giơ tay thì có một số bạn không được gọi trả lời, thì cái đấy chúng ta hy vọng là chúng ta có thể thông cảm và khi học online.
Could you add the student ID after the name because somebody has the same name? Could you add the student ID after the name because somebody...
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's different. Okay. Bây giờ thêm mã sinh viên vào, ok. Bởi vì nếu mà đánh cả hai thì rất mất thời gian, nên tôi cứ tạm thời viết cái tên này trước, không sau rồi check. Okay, that's all for today. See you next Thursday. Chúng ta nghỉ đã.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
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 Chào thầy ạ.
Goodbye, teacher.
Thầy.